Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnatimidandasya Gnananjana Shamakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Parishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Devishatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaurabhaktavan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so chapter 23, Teachings of Queen Kunti. Natural prosperity. Ime janapada svarudhaha supakaushadhi virudhaha vanadrinadyudvan udanvanto shedante tava vikshitaihi. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals. And the oceans full of wealth. And this all due to your glancing over them. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. Gigantic industrial enterprises are Ugra Karma. Ugra means horrible or almost like sinful. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. How? How do they cause destruction? Anybody? How do the industries cause? Why is it? Why are they products of godless civilization? Why do they cause destruction of noble aims of human life? Any thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Pollution,
Okay, pollution.
wall warming,
Sorry. Okay, there's disturbance, Ganendra Prabhu. I can't hear you. Okay, muting.
Prabhuji, they are into the business of making profits. And
Okay, they're in the business of making profits.
less manpower also required for to industrially.
Less manpower required. Okay.
So Prabhuji, they portray or advertise in such a way so that our mindset becomes more and more polluted.
Okay. Okay. Good point. Okay.
They remove any traces of faith in Krishna.
Remove traces of faith in Krishna. Okay. How is that, Mataji?
Thinking we are more independent, we can do anything. So
Okay.
there's no godless civilization. So I thought
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. God bless you. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, all of them. So Prabhupada specifically saying they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. Basically, the in the enterprises are making people want more, produce more, want more. Prabhupada says elsewhere also, like the people who work in these industries are, it is actually few people who are flourishing at the cost of so many. So there's no compassion, profit making, uh, and products that are coming also are all godless. Godless meaning they are not. They're just for sense gratification, right? And a sense gratification civilization is pretty much a godless civilization because they're just focused on their own happiness and their own. And Prabhupada explains here. So I just ask this question so that we can start thinking, then Prabhupada will answer. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being. See, squeeze out, why? Because people are working today. See, just simple thing, right? Book distribution. We don't have people. We don't have people. People don't have time. Our devotees don't have time because they're just working, and these industries, corporates, etc. They're squeezing out vital energy of human being being used for useless, right? The more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of people in general, although few only can live lavishly by exploitation. This Prabhupada repeats multiple times, right? So few live lavishly. Others, there is unrest and dissatisfaction in people's lives. I mean, just see all these in the industries. People, who are these people who are working, especially in big factories and all? Who are these people? Where have these people come from? These people who are working in these factories.
So labor class people you are saying, Prabhuji?
Yeah, mostly, right? Mostly, majority is labor. Labor class is the one who is exploited, right?
Yeah.
The white collar, so-called, managers and above, etc. They live, they make money and they have like good lifestyle and position and fame and this and that and all that. Who are the people who are exploited? Laborers.
Yeah.
Where are they coming from?
From the lower strata of the society.
No, from where? Where from the society? They were never originally. Where are these factories? Mostly in cities, right? And or in really, I mean, I was in for some time in Gujarat, right, in an area called Bharuch. That Ankaleshwar is a chemical, like central for chemical industries, and that whole stretch is so polluted. I mean, even the air is polluted, right? And these people, either they are in working in very bad conditions or they've come to the cities from villages, right, hoping for a better life. And what do they get? I mean, they would have possibly been much more comfortable if they were in their own villages and done their, whatever farming, whatever occupations they had had. But they come here and they're just exploited for very meager money. They have to work like slog and bad working conditions. Of course, in India, not many people even bother about safety and this and that and all that. So there is dissatisfaction. Naturally, there is dissatisfaction. Very few companies actually take care of their employees, right? They just want to exploit them. That's all. And helpless, poor people, they have to just work because otherwise they move to the city. Cost of living is high. Expenses are there. Somehow it has to be managed, and they end up in taking loans, and so they go into a really difficult cycle to get out of them, right? So we want to target these people also as part of our book distribution, right? We want to go to these factories and help people, right? At least they should have peace of mind. They should be satisfied, right? All this unrest and dissatisfaction. See, people, the Prabhupada writes all this, and we should look at this from a practical perspective, saying that how do we help these people? And we can these classes, these purports are not for armchair philosophy. Prabhupada says armchair philosophy. What is armchair philosophy? Just sit in one place and just blah 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 blah. Just talk. We are not here for this. We are not here for armchair philosophy. We want to do something. We want to help the society, right? So we should go. If we know of these kind of places, where people are in factories, go to them. And we can even raise Shastradan for such people, right? 100 rupees. Just take this. Take two small books if somebody is able to read. Otherwise, just give them Japamala and teach them how to chant. Right? Teach them Krishna consciousness. And they will at least find real happiness in their life. On one end they might be exploited, but at least they will start getting that. Then they'll understand, okay, this is my karma, and slowly they might come out of those, find alternate jobs, etc. Whatever it is. But we have to take Krishna consciousness to these people. Otherwise, they're just suffering. It's a very important thing. We are encouraging these industries. Majorly, we are encouraging these industries by depending on their products. So we have to at least help them, in some way. Yeah, I mean, if we say, okay, don't depend on these industries, it becomes an impractical proposition. So at least let's help them. Let's help those people. Right? Again, I'm saying just somehow try to find, we can generate Shastra. Then there are a lot of people who want to give money. Right? We'll take that money and we'll help these people. Give them something invaluable. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. The grains, vegetables, fruits, rivers, hills of jewels and minerals, seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. This is in the control of the Supreme. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. Natural law, Prabhupada is making it very clear. What is a natural law? Krishna gives all these godly gifts. So human beings should take advantage of these godly gifts given by nature and satisfactorily flourish. So nobody is saying perish or, you know, flourish, be happy, live a healthy life, you know, live a comfortable life, satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. Industries, this is what they're doing, right? Like Akshay Prabhu said, like, they're just making us more exploitative. We are trying to exploit nature more by buying all these products. And we are captivated by it, right? So somebody sees something in the mall, they say, oh, this is so nice, let me buy it. Something else, this is so nice, let me buy it. So it is developing an exploitative mentality in us, and we are captivated by it. But Prabhupada is saying, forget about why are we getting captivated. Use all these godly gifts, grains, vegetables, fruits, rivers, jewels, minerals, pearls, everything. Use and live a satisfactory life. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. So this is what is happening to modern Kali Yuga life. We are becoming more and more entrapped by the reaction of exploitative methods. Everybody is trying to exploit. Everybody is out there to exploit. Which is why for example, in this Damodar month, we went and we gave Ratha cards, free of cost. We gave Diya and all that. And people generally like, it's a good gesture. So many people liked it. Oh, somebody today in today's world is giving something free. That's not, they cannot understand at all because it's all exploitative. This month we are going to try to give them free peace of mind, free mind control, free tension-free life. We are going to give them free. And subsequently, if somebody doesn't want to buy books, that's fine. At least let them do chanting. Let them chant, their life will change. Eventually, they'll buy books. Because we are not exploiting. So obviously, our attempts will bear fruits by Guru and Krishna's mercy. But we have to go out there and try something. We can't be sitting in our houses. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills. Many people won't know how all this is happening, the natural process. Minerals are produced in the hills and jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., why should we hanker after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of labor of some unfortunate men? See, why should we hanker after terrible industrial enterprises? We are hankering, whether we want to accept it or not. But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. See, Prabhupada is coming directly to the point. We are just exploiting. We are not following. We are not abiding by nature's laws. So Prabhupada is saying, we have to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service directly. So the techniques for preaching Prabhupada is giving here. Go to these industries, tell them how poor, how bad their life is, how they can live a happy life by just being obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve perfection. That's all we have to go and tell. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. So this is God's mercy. God's mercy is when there is natural prosperity, when all these things are available in abundance, that is God's mercy. If it is being restricted, that means that it's a sinful population, not getting access to God's resources. And Prabhupada elsewhere says, for example, people living in the desert, sinful people, so they're not getting any resources, bare minimum resources. Kunti Devi mentions that the grains are abundant, the trees full of fruits, the rivers flowing nicely, the hills full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. But she never mentions that industry and slaughterhouses are flourishing, for such things are nonsense that men have developed to create problems. So Prabhupada is saying, see, this all this industry slaughterhouse is just creating problems. Sinful life results in future problems. If we depend on God's creation, there will be no scarcity, but simply ananda, bliss. God's creation provides sufficient grains and grass, and while we eat the grains and fruits, the animals like the cows will eat the grass. The bulls will help us produce grains, and they will take only a little, being satisfied with what we throw away. If we take fruit and throw away the skin, the animal will be satisfied with the skin. In this way, with Krishna in the center, there can be a full cooperation between the trees, animals, human beings, and all living entities. This is Vedic civilization, a civilization of Krishna consciousness. But if we talk about this today, people don't want to hear. They say it's impractical. It's not practical. Why did Prabhupada write it here? So Prabhupada is giving us some ideas, how we can create a Vedic civilization. We say we don't need Vedic civilization. Let's just chant Hare Krishna. Yeah, but even people who are chanting Hare Krishna don't have peace of mind. Even devotees don't have peace of mind living in this, horrible city. They're under so much of pressure, you know, to just maintain families in the city. Life is so difficult. Either it's difficult or we are too absorbed, either one of them, right? For many, they find it difficult to meet ends meet. For others, to make ends meet. For others, they have so much, but they want more, and they're stuck in that life, right? No time for anything except work, 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 work. Make money, make money, make money. So either way, this is not a favorable civilization, society favorable for Krishna consciousness. It's very unfavorable. And we know how difficult devotees, how much difficulty they go through, and which is why most devotees talk about balancing material and spiritual life, because that is what happens in a city. You have to try to balance. But actually, there's no question of balancing. It's just spiritual life only. And then there is some livelihood that one should depend on. That's the Krishna conscious way of life. But here, material life, because it keeps us away from Krishna, so there it looks like two lives: material life, spiritual life. Material life keeps us away from Krishna and gives us livelihood. Spiritual life, to some extent, is bringing us closer to Krishna. But Vedic civilization means it's a spiritual life with some form of livelihood, which doesn't take us away from Krishna. But yeah, again, difficult to understand, accept. Kunti Devi prays to the Lord. This prosperity is due to your glance. See, when we sit in the temple of Krishna, Krishna glances over us and everything is nice. When sincere souls try to become Krishna's devotees, Krishna very kindly comes before them in his full opulence and glances upon them, and they become happy and beautiful. Now, this is the test for our Krishna consciousness. This is the test of our Krishna consciousness. Are we happy and beautiful? If you're not happy, beautiful is natural. When somebody is happy, it's just the happy beauty of the soul which comes through, right? Spiritually happy. So if we are not happy, then that means that we are not doing what Prabhupada is saying here. Prabhupada is saying sincere souls try to become devotees. Krishna glances upon them and they become happy and beautiful. So if you're not happy and beautiful, that means that we are not sincerely following the process. Prabhupada is saying, When you sit in the temple, Krishna glances over us and everything is nice. This is seen in even a small, like really insignificant center, like we are trying to run in Hulimau. We see this. Krishna glances over us. Jagannath glances over us, and everything is nice. Everything is nice. Till now, we have not had a situation where somebody has come and not got prasadam. And I'd like to really, heartfelt, uh, deep gratitude to the temple management who's, so mercifully supplying, sending us prasadam every week, and every week, however, how much ever more prasadam we have, so much more devotees Krishna is sending. So sometimes I keep thinking maybe I should just cook so much of prasadam. Jagannath will simply send so many people. Right? So it's very simple process. You just sit in temple, work for Krishna, Krishna will take care of things. Right? And if you are sincere, we should become happy. We should simple connection, sincere soul happiness, direct correlation. Spiritual happiness. We're not talking about material happiness. So if somebody is sincere, he seriously takes up Krishna consciousness, he becomes happy. Why? Because Krishna glances upon such devotees. So if we are still dependent on material happiness, then we should understand that this statement doesn't seem to be applicable to us for some reason, right? And then the sincerity means actually we going and pulling ourselves out from wherever we are stuck, right? We are stuck. Either we pull ourselves out, either we ourselves have the willpower, or we go to somebody who can pull us out. But neither do we want to neither do we have the strength to pull ourselves out, nor do we go to somebody to take help. That is insincerity. That is insincerity. So if you are sincere, we should be happy. Simple. Simple formula. Similarly, the whole material creation is due to Krishna's glance. Sa aikshata. In the Vedas, it is said that he glanced over matter, thus agitating it. A woman in touch with a man becomes agitated and becomes pregnant and then gives birth to children. The whole creation follows a similar process. Simply by Krishna's glance, matter becomes agitated and then becomes pregnant and gives birth to the living entities. It is simply by his glance that plants, trees, animals, and all other living beings come forth. How is this possible? None of us can say. Simply by glancing over my wife, I can make her pregnant. But although this is impossible for us, it is not impossible for Krishna. The Brahma Samhita says, Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Every part of Krishna's body has all the capabilities of other parts. With our eyes, we can only see, but Krishna, merely by seeing, can make others pregnant. There is no need of sex, for simply by glancing, Krishna can create pregnancy. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Maya dhikshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. By my supervision, material nature gives birth to all moving and non-moving beings. The word aksha means eyes, so akshena indicates that all living entities take birth because of the Lord's glance. There are two kinds of living entities, moving beings like insects, animals, and human beings, and non-moving beings like trees and plants. In Sanskrit, these two kinds of living entities are called Sthavara and Jangama, and they both come forth from material nature. Sthavara is those who are non-moving, Jangama is those who are moving. So both of them come forth from material nature. So Krishna's potency. Of course, what comes from material nature is not the life, but the body. The living entities accept particular types of bodies from material nature, just as a child takes its body from its mother. For 10 months, the child's body develops from the blood and nutrients of the mother's body. But the child is a living entity, not matter. It is a living entity that has taken shelter in the womb of the mother, who then supplies the ingredients for that living entity's body. This is nature's way. The mother may not know how from her body another body has been created, but when the body of the child is fit, the child takes birth. I mean, all these are, just inconceivable processes that are happening in nature, which we don't give much attention, right? Just simple. Simple. Prabhupada says elsewhere, saying, how does digestion happen? Does anybody know? Different people have different theories about digestion. Allopathy people, homeopathy people say something, Ayurvedic people say something else, somebody says something else. Only person who knows exactly how it is going on is Krishna. Right? Childbirth. How can one, no other machine can produce another machine, but Krishna's creation is such that human being can produce another human being. And so perfect. So perfect. Such a perfect system. The Krishna is in control. Whole nature is under Maya Dakshena Prakriti. so so accurate. See, just the person who has to get karma phala will only get karma phala, not the person sitting by that person's side. Meaning it's so accurate, and only as much suffering as is um, as it has to be delivered gets delivered. Not more, not less. All this is perfection, perfect system Krishna has created. And then we live life forgetting about this perfect, you know, material world that Krishna has created. Everything is under his control. And that is why devotees never forget whatever situation we are in, it is all Krishna's will. It's all Krishna's will. Right. So I think I'll stop here. It's 9 o'clock. Anybody has any comments, questions? Any comments? Anybody? Okay. So let's try to help the people who are in the industries. We want to do so much, but we have very less devotees who have the time and willingness to go out and help. So anyway, I'm hoping that few people will at least get inspired, motivated, and go out and help others. Okay, thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarupyascha kripasindhubhyo viprapatitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Namaha. With Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava. Hare Krishna.